I've decided, even though we are already 20 days through July, I decided I wanted to participate in that July junk journal challenge. I forget who's running it, but I'll tag them and link them in the description. Um, but yeah, I'm going to use this coloring book that I've had lying around, and I think this was given to me a while ago, but I'm not really into coloring too much, but I do like to use the images and stuff like that as regular journal pages, just because it's like you don't have a blank page and it gives you like a little starting point. So I'm using this one that I've had for several years. I think I've had this since before I was even in college. But anyway, it's probably about like 10 years by now or something. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But anyway, I am just going to prep this journal for the challenge. First, I want to decorate the cover a bit. So I am going to cover the cover with some gesso, and I'm thinking I'm going to like doodle all around the cover. I'm using this really big brush. This is, I wouldn't buy this new just because I don't really like buying Martha Stewart stuff new because I find it a lot overpriced, but I got this from the secondhand art supply store near me. Oh, yeah, it is a Martha Stewart thing. And it's just this really big brush. I think it's meant for, like, interior design, like painting your walls or something. So you might be able to find something pretty similar to this at, like, a hardware store. But yeah, and I got it because I thought it would be pretty cool to use to spread gesso around and maybe provide a little bit more of a textured look than using like old gift cards and stuff like that, which is what I used to do. This is my first time using this, though, because I just got it a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago. But I just got it recently and haven't really had a chance to use it yet. So we're going to see how I like this. Which I'm actually really interested to see if I like this or not for this instance, because I'm planning on doing more of a doodly cover. So I don't know how all this texture is going to make my pens respond. My art table's a little cluttered, so I'm getting some gesso on my pens and whatnot. I do not like the scratchy sound of this. It is hard for me to talk while doing this. But I have that sometimes where, like, some scratchy sounds, it's like, I can tolerate them kinda, but if I start talking during it, it's like, my voice starts getting weird, and, I have a hard time thinking about what I'm saying. But now, since I was already rambling, I'm pretty much just rambling to try to distract myself from that. This is a sensory nightmare. I think it's because the cover is a bit plasticky. That's probably it. I hope I don't have that same issue with regular paper, because then this would be kind of a wasted purchase. But we'll find out. Anyway, so now I've got this all covered in gesso. Now I'll need to let it dry before I can doodle on it. So I will be back once it's dry. The gesso is dry now, so I'm first going to just draw a little diamond to start out. And looks like a fruit fly is joining in with the art. Watch out, fruit fly, I'm not stopping. Okay. And because this is so big, I'm going to go ahead and use a Posca pen. Because I feel like if I used my usual Staedtler pigment liners, it would probably take forever. Let me see here. draw something like this right in the center. Step a little bit there, but it's okay. And then I think I want to do watercolor around this and the rest of that diamond shape. I might do some watercolor in these areas too, but I don't think so. I think I'll just keep it to this diamond shape. But I don't want that paint pen to bleed into it, so I will wait for this to dry again. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna wait for this to dry again so the ink doesn't bleed into the watercolor because I don't want that right now. So I'm gonna paint the background of this diamond with some watercolors. I don't think I want to do wet and wet. I think I just want to do regular old watercolor painting. Oops, got my hand in the paint. Let me see, do I need to touch up that one part? No, looks like it fixed itself. Okay, good. I know sometimes when I get my hand in the paint, it'll leave like a white mark, and like sometimes that's fine, but sometimes I don't I don't want there to be a white mark there, and sometimes it can look a little jarring or something, or just not look good, you know? I really like this cover. Was kind of textured, and you can see it kind of coming through as I paint with the watercolor. I kind of really like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna let this dry, and then the rest of the background I'm gonna fill with one pattern. I'll probably use a different pen than the paint pen. But I don't want to run my hand through the watercolor, so I'm going to let this dry again. I'm going to use an 05 Prismacolor pen here and start making the pattern. So first I'm just drawing a grid of circles. I actually might do a different pattern in each one of these sections. We'll see what I feel like. So I think I might get bored if I do the same pattern on this whole thing. And this grid is getting a bit wonky, but that's okay. Oh, it's getting a lot wonky. Alright, so now I'm just kind of gonna do a bit like S shapes from the circles diagonally, so like that. Then the same thing here, just in the opposite direction. Then I'm gonna do that for all of these. And because of the texture of the gesso, it is coming out a little wonky as well, but some of that is just also the way I draw things. See, like that one came out real weird looking. But that's okay, it'll look unique. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do this over the whole entire cover like I had planned, because I can tell today I would be bored out of my mind if I did that. So I won't. I will use different patterns. But I'm going to try to make sure that this like sort of eye-like shape here in the center, I'm gonna make sure that stays in the focus. Or attempt to. That's at least my plan right now. Who knows if that'll stick. Okay, my pen got a little gunked up there. Sometimes that happens a bit when I'm working on top of gesso. That's why for this big thing here, I didn't want to use my usual kind of pens, and that's also why I'm using a thicker pen here than I typically do. Because if this was a 005 like I typically use, I would probably just be carving through the gesso, essentially. Which, I mean, might be a nice look, depending on what you want, but I'm not interested in destroying my pens. Oop. Speaking of scratching into the gesso, I did a little bit there. Okay. So that happened, I think, because I was pressing a little too hard with my pen. Because this isn't the thickest coat of gesso in the world. It's not like a super thin coat either. But like, it's definitely thin enough to where if I was pressing down super hard, I'd scratch into it. So that just means I gotta try to relax. Oh, that came out real wonky. Oh, and I got gunk on my pen again. Okay, that came out weird, but it's okay. I just have a few more rows left. Yeah, if you're really worried about ruining your pens, you might be more comfortable using just a Posca pen over top of gesso like I did earlier, or a Sharpie would probably be a bit better to use on top of gesso. You could also always just paint with like black ink, like black liquid ink, or watercolors if you wanted sort of much lighter kind of look, or acrylics. Or you could also probably do gouache too if you really wanted to. I don't know. I haven't experimented with that, so I don't quite know what it would look like. I'm sure it would look marvelous. But that's just because I'm sure anything you'd create would look marvelous. So yeah, I think that's about my limit for this pattern. Because I did get kind of into flow state there. But I also know that if I did this much longer, I would start to get really bored. So, I'm finding a few spots that I missed first time through. Making sure it looks good. I think it does. Though, yeah, I think I'll leave that edge like that. Yeah, so I'll leave that there, and then I will come back and do something else on these other corners. Probably something similar, just a different pattern. Now I'm continuing the same 05 pen, and I'm gonna do kind of like a bumpy spiral over here in this section, I think. Yeah. And pen's already not working. Okay, there we are. Oops. Okay. That happened. I'll find a way to either fix that or maybe it might look good on its own. We'll see. But if it looks weird, I'll find a way to fix it. Yeah, I think it's gonna look weird. I'll figure it out in a second. So, how do I fix this? You know what? It's almost like a crack, so we'll just make it look like put it there on purpose. Then I'm just kind of looking to see if I want to add any more cracks to it. I mean, I feel like it should have more cracks, but I also don't really feel like adding more cracks. Like, I'm not sure where I'd add them. Okay, well, I'm feeling semi-called to add one here, so I'll do that. Okay, and then maybe one here. Maybe here. Think, oh, maybe one. Well, no, I feel like that's adding too many at that point. So, okay, I will leave that one there for now. And now I'm gonna add some sort of roundish pea pod shapes. Think here. Yeah. So I'm just drawing some plain ovals first. That one ended up a little more pointed than what I was aiming for. That's okay. Oops. Oops. A little darker there. Alrighty. And now I'm just putting some circles inside those ovals. So I tend to start in the middle just because I find it easier to start with the biggest circle. Thinking I might cover all these patterns with watercolor or something, just to make them a little bit more in the background. We'll see what happens, because I really want this center part to be the focal point. I'm not sure I like what I did there, but you know what? It's okay. Maybe I'll do something inside the circles or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now I'm gonna draw like a sprout kind of growing in this area. My desk is messy, so I gotta shove some stuff out of the way. think that's all I want to do for the patterns. Now I'm kind of giving it a look, see if it needs anything else. I think this is actually fine. So I am next going to put the title, and since this is going to be for the July Junk Journal Challenge, I'll just put that as my title. Though, I don't know what the July Junk Journal Challenge is probably not going to take up all these pages, but we'll see. Okay, so July Junk Journal Challenge. So trying to figure out how I want to line up the words. Like, do I want July Junk Journal Challenge? Ooh! Okay. I figured it out. Looks kind of funky, but I like it. Okay. Not sure what the middle letter is of journal, so I'm writing it out real quick on my under paper here. Okay, so the letter R. Okay. And then I'm doing the same with challenge. Okay. Because I found that it helps me make sure the word actually fits in the space that I've allotted. If I do the edges and then the, oh my goodness, and then the middle letter, and then if there's more middle letters, those middle letters, and then fill in, going on and on like that. But yeah, before I figured that out, I used to struggle all the time with trying to squish letters into stuff. I still do a little bit sometimes. But far less often now. Anyway, okay. Oh, I like that. Do I want to add any color? Like, I kind of feel like I need to add color, but I also feel like I don't. Which means it's probably good, I think. Oh, I need to add. Ooh, maybe I'll do like multiple years of the challenge, so then I can put, yeah, so then if there's some more pages left, then I'll save this book for next July. Assuming that they do the July Junk Journal Challenge again. If they don't, then guess I'll have to do my own. But, okay, so I'll do 20, 25 up here. Okay, wish I centered that a little better, but that's alright. And then down here I'll save for whatever the last year that I, or work on this is. Yeah, I really wish I centered that. Oh well, I could always, like, write the last year over here, like in this section. Yeah. Alrighty. So there's the cover for my July Junk Journal Challenge book. And then my intention is to try to do every prompt, and considering that it took me like 4 days to record this video, it's probably going to take me more than 1 day to complete each prompt, realistically, but it is what it is, so it's probably going to go far past July. But alrighty. So if you want to follow along with me completing the July Junk Journal Challenge, then don't forget to like the video and subscribe, so then you can get notifications of when I upload more videos. I'm gonna try to do it every day, but life is life, and I also have a lot of stuff going on, so